It's quite funny because my father started to watch my YouTube videos the other day, and I was quite amused because he's not really interested in Buddhism or anything like that. In fact, he's quite a logical man, and he's been an atheist all his life. But I suppose then, because I'm his son, then he's interested to see what I'm up to, what I'm doing, and he had a look. And he said, you know, you should be more gentle with your students. And it really made me laugh, because there would be no way for me to explain to my father that I was intentionally being provocative and that I was trying to challenge people, because he wouldn't understand what my intention or what I'm up to. And it all comes down to this point that the intended audience for my videos is quite narrow. I mean, I don't really think that I'd be able to resonate with people who are inclined to go off and join spiritual communities of a famous guru or something like that. And also people who are kind of absolute beginners in meditation. Because quite frankly, they're not going to understand what I'm talking about. And I'd started to think, like, there wasn't even anybody on YouTube who I could resonate with. That there were so few people who would be able to understand what I'm talking about. And primarily, that there are so few people who might be able to benefit from what I have to share. And I do feel like I have something to share. I feel kind of lucky in my own life, having met an authentic teacher. And on the basis of that interaction, then I do feel like I have something to offer. So anyway, it made me laugh. I mean, in general, my father had a good impression. But he did notice that I was being a bit provocative. I was being a bit challenging. And I think when he thinks about meditation, to him it's about being kind of really calm and peaceful. Morning!
Hey.
Hello, how are you?
Hey.
Hello! Nice dog there. People probably wonder what I'm doing, walking around with a camera in my hand. Well, I can understand that I come across as being quite hard on you, and quite critical. But you should know I'm doing it intentionally. And then the people I'm trying to talk to are people that themselves must have some basic level of experience in practice. And especially those who are not easily satisfied with the trite statements of others, but also those who are prone to ask difficult questions of their teachers. And based on asking these difficult questions, many individuals like this can become somehow ostracized from spiritual communities. Because when it comes down to it, many teachers don't like being asked difficult questions. Difficult questions for which they don't have any significant answers. Hello! 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 Beautiful dog. Hello! That's okay. Most of the people you meet on the path are walking their dogs. There's some really lovely dogs here. It's funny, sometimes you think that animals in the West have got better karma than human beings who live in third world countries. I mean, it's not really funny, it's quite a sad fact. But we certainly treat our pets better than many human beings get treated in this world. So what was I trying to say? So I come across as being quite hard, and also maybe not a caring or loving individual. And I admit that I don't appear like a very emotional person. It's not that I don't have love and concern, but these feelings don't often make it to the surface. And I am quite a kind of logical person. I take after my dad in that regard. I mean, part of the reason why he's an atheist is because he has strong faith in science. And so he's not prone to believe in things like afterlife and karma, cause and effect. He likes things that there is empirical evidence for. And so religion for him, it seems to be something a little bit old-fashioned. I'm certainly not a natural empath, that's for sure. And I've always said that people who are natural empaths have got some advantage on the spiritual path because they naturally have very strong love and compassion, a very strong feeling for the suffering of others. And that's seen to be very important if you can develop bodhicitta. And we do need to develop bodhicitta. But there's a downside to this as well. Because empaths often become overwhelmed by their emotions. And they find spiritual practice quite difficult. And in some ways, you need to be quite firm in your resolve and also very emotionally stable. You have to be a little bit, well, you have to be kind of hard on yourself, really. And that's not something that everyone's able to do. So if I seem critical or like I'm being hard on you, then please don't take it the wrong way. I don't mean to be unkind. I'm just trying to encourage you to reach your potential. That's the main thing. So anyway, why did I start talking about that? Well, it's because last night, then I almost burst into tears. Now, it might just be because my mum's not been sleeping for about a week, so I'm a bit sleep deprived, but I don't think it was that. The reason is that recently, then I've kind of encountered some new friends online, you could call them. Maybe you could call them students. But they have a great honesty and sincerity in their practice. They're sincerely looking for answers. But up until now, their quest for the truth has not been satisfied by what they've studied or what they've learnt so far. And also, then some people are starting to get the point. And that makes me feel very emotional. And that's because if you start to clock on to what the fundamental issue is, if you start to identify the source of your own self-deception, then along with that, you gain the greatest opportunity for liberation in this life. And so that's a marvelous thing. Just recognizing that one has been mistaken and that one's assumptions about reality are based on kind of conceptual fallacies is like a complete wish-fulfilling jewel. Because what holds us back is that we cling on to our fallacies. And here I'm not just talking about, philosophy, philosophic beliefs, religious beliefs. That's not what I'm talking about when I'm talking about conceptual fallacy. What I'm talking about is just the way we relate to our world around us. The way we interact with people and with nature, with appearances and thoughts, that sort of thing. And it's the way that we mistakenly interact with our experience that causes our suffering. I mean, you can say that the foundation or the basis for suffering in the 6 realms of samsara is clinging to a self. That doesn't mean you need to annihilate the individual. That doesn't mean to say that your experiences are invalid. But primarily, it's about our perspective. We hear this term view, right? Hear about the view. What is the ultimate view? What is an authentic view? And it's very easy to think that this view is talking about some kind of tenet, some kind of concept, or some kind of logical position, like philosophy, etc. You know, we've got a scientific view, we've got a religious view, we've got a world view, that sort of thing. But it's not that. It's about your perspective. For example, if you're on top of the mountain, then you can see the valley below. But if you're in the valley, then your view is the mountain. And our view comes from this side. It's very kind of it's very much a self-cherishing view. We interact and relate to everything from this perspective of me and mine. And that's what needs to be changed. We have a kind of inherent selfishness. And this perpetuates our suffering in samsara, but also makes us complicit in the suffering of others. But we can't mechanically change this. Of course, at first we have to contrive it. We have to fake it. We have to study. We have to look at other ways of relating to the world. But eventually, this view that does not orbit around the notion of self has to become uncontrived. And for that to be uncontrived, then what you need to do is, you need to be honest. You need to regard the world and experience with honesty, directly, for what it is. And leave aside this vast lexicon, this database of preconceptions that we've built up lifetime after lifetime. So I think that's all I wanted to say this morning. It's a beautiful day, isn't it? You have to enjoy life while you can, but also you have to make it meaningful. So thank you for listening, and see you again next time.